My name is Luis. I am a worker organizer at Make the Road, and I am a member of Generation Now. A sanctuary city is a municipal policy that says that local agencies, including the police, do local work and not the work of the federal government. In the context of Trump getting elected, it was vital for our community to have a policy in place here in Bridgeport that says that the police will not ask for what our documents are. And it's also a public safety issue because we want the community to have a dialogue with the police in case that there is any crimes or any if the community witnesses any type of crime, that they are comfortable calling the police because they know that the police are there to do local work. So Bridgeport has had a long history of migration. In the 1950s, for instance, there was a lot of folks that came from Puerto Rico because it was a manufacturing hub. Now we have a lot of immigrants and a lot of folks from Latin America that live in Bridgeport, and it's estimated that the largest population of undocumented immigrants reside here in Bridgeport. So it's important to have this in Bridgeport in particular because of the fact that we have a large immigrant community. Was that Gala? I think that was Gala. Okay. We needed to make sure that we protect our community, and one very concrete step that we took was to make sure that the city has a policy that makes the police accountable locally and that they do not do the bidding of the government. So we had an emergency meeting and we strategized together with the community. The community gave the support, and we fought on every district to be able to speak to council members to show them and to tell them how important it is for our community, for the undocumented community here in Bridgeport. So on May 15th, we were able to get a sanctuary city or a welcoming city here in Bridgeport. And this articulated that the police will do local work and not work for the interest of the federal government, which is separating and deporting our families. So that was very exciting. There was a outpour of support, both with other organizations, including Generation Now, and other local activists and members of our wonderful, diverse community here in Bridgeport. Well, an ordinance is enforceable. So a resolution is sort of like a guideline that police can follow. So with an ordinance, this policy is enforceable, and if there is any case where police officers might ask for papers, that they will be held accountable for violating an ordinance. So it's hugely important that we have an ordinance because we will know that the police will have to do the local work and not ask for papers, and this will make the city safer because there will be a contribution or conversation between our community and the police, and we will be able to cooperate without fear that, hey, you know, what would the police do? Will they call eyes on us? So we need to make sure that we have this policy in place as an ordinance. So our youth and our parents have been up to a lot. Our parents are making sure that there is access to language in their schools, so parents can have a say and can advocate for their children and can make sure that resources and that there is communication, fluid communication between them and schools, and that language should not be a barrier to keep parents involved and invested, and to be able to advocate for their children. In terms of the youth, so the youth have been organizing on issues that matter to youth, such as education, transportation. So they have been organizing, they have been doing a lot of work, getting together with other youth to be able to see how they can make this city more equitable for youth, and how youth can have a voice in the decision making of our city. So in this time, in the context of what is happening nationally, in the context of deportations, of separations of the family, of the administration trying to build a wall, of the expansion of private detention centers, we need to make sure that local officials, local elected officials, articulate to us that they are in support of the immigrant community, that they will support DACA or folks who benefit from DACA, and that they say to the immigrant community that they have our backs. The immigrant community, the undocumented immigrant community, is very, very vulnerable but very strong. So we need to make sure that we show our power, and that we collectively work to make Bridgeport a better city, and that we work also in conjunction with other groups at the state level and at the national level to have Bridgeport become a rebel city, where we have Bridgeport as a sanctuary, not only for immigrants but also for LGBTQ rights, for the environment rights, for families, for children, and that we have Bridgeport become as an inclusive, a sanctuary for all that want progressive policies here in Connecticut. So let's talk about DACA. What is DACA? So DACA is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. These are young people who came to the country when they were very young. Under Obama, this program was placed. It's an executive order that defers young people from deportation, allows them to have a Social Security and a work permit. And many of these students have been, or many of these youth have been going to school, getting their education, and working for the community. And this program is in danger. As soon as the Labor Day holiday ends, the Republicans are going to take a big stand against it. They are going to sue the government if this administration does not have an answer for them by September 5th. So we have to understand that this youth and this movement is very strong, and that they need our support, and they are risking the most, and they are fighting the hardest. So keep your radar on to DACA, and make sure that you support and that you have these conversations with people that you know, as to why this is important, and why it's important to do the right thing, and to be able to show solidarity and work and go into the streets and fight and speak to your legislators about DACA. The DACA recipient is a young person who came to this country when they were 3, 4, 5 years old, and who went through the school system. But at some point they were not fully human, because they were denied simple things like a driver's license or a Social Security or a permit to work. So they fought very hard to have this program, and this program is in danger. As of February 5th, we need to make sure that we stand behind our DACA-mentored recipients, and show them that we are together with them.